Hello students, welcome to the video tutorial of Informatics Practices for class 12. Today we will be discussing our next part of the chapter Introduction to Internet and Web. So in the previous video tutorials, we have already discussed that what we mean by a web page and also what is the different URLs which we get, what are the different types of URLs, that is the absolute URL or the relative URL. And also we have discussed about the different types of content of the web pages and also the different types of content of the websites. Okay. So today we will be discussing about the types of the web pages. Now see, when we talk about the types of web pages, first let's discuss what is a web page. So already I have discussed that a web page means something which can be viewed on a particular web browsers, okay, and it is actually containing some HTML codes which we are visiting with the help of this web browsers, and we can see the information of it, okay. So a web page may be basically two types, that is a static web page or the dynamic web page, depending upon what type of content it stores. Okay, so it may store some dynamic contents or it may store some static content. So if the web page is containing some static content, then it will be a static web page, and if the contents are dynamic, then the content and the web page will be called as the dynamic web page. Okay, that is the basic definition. Now let's see what is there in the static web page. A static web page is the one which contains only the static content, that is the fixed content. Okay, static means which is fixed. Okay, so if the content of the website or the web page is fixed, okay, so it will be considered as a static web page. And if there is something changes going around a particular web page, okay, suppose for instance if you check the web page at 5.5, okay, and at 5.6 the contents are the similar, okay, or even it remains for similar for 5.7 or 5.10 or till 11 or 12, okay, that means if every time the content is same for that web page, so it will be considered as the static web page. But suppose if you open that particular web page at 5.5 and at 5.6 you are having some different content on the similar web page, that means the content has changed now. Okay, so now the content is not fixed, so it has become a dynamic web page. Okay, so let's see what are the advantages of the static contents. So the advantage is that it is the fastest and most efficient way to deliver content. Okay, it takes minimum of resources, that is, it does not require any code to execute or any databases to be accessed. Since it uses minimum of resources, it is most secure way to deliver content. Obviously, if the resources are less, so you don't have to be worried about too much for the security. Okay, so it is the most secure way to deliver content, and also it is compatible with every type of web server technology. Since the content is static, so every means web server technology is compatible with it. Okay, however, it also has some following disadvantages. That is that it must be republished when it changes, or the viewers will not see the updates. Okay, obviously it is fixed content, so if you want to give some updates to that particular web page, you need to update it onto the website also. Okay, only then the users will be able to, or the viewers will be able to see the updates of that particular web pages. Also, it cannot display differently to different viewers depending on their login status or other factors. Now, this is an important factor here, because when you are talking about the static web pages, it is similar for all the viewers. Okay, it doesn't depends upon the means the type of viewer, whether he is a premium user or is a particular means free kind user. Okay, and it doesn't depend upon the login of the particular credentials of the users. Okay, because you know that some pages are like it wants the users to sign in, okay, or it has to check whether the member is a premium member or the free user. Okay, so accordingly that content is delivered. But here when we are talking about a static web page, so the static web page is fixed for all the different viewers. Okay, it is not like that user one will see it in a different way and user two will see it in a different way. Okay, so a static web page is a web page which has a fixed content, and thus it gets delivered to user's browser exactly as created. Now the next thing is the dynamic web pages. So when we are talking about dynamic web page, so a dynamic web page is the one which contains the dynamic content. Okay, dynamic I've already told you that when we are talking about a dynamic content, that means the content is not fixed. Okay, it is going to change dynamically. So a dynamic content does not remains the same every time it is loaded on a web page. So every time you are loading that web page, it is not necessary that the page will be same. Okay, there is a higher probability or higher chances that the page will now be reflected with some different changes. Okay, so that is a dynamic web page. A dynamic content is generated for the user at a time request the page through some scripts. Okay, examples of dynamic content include the weather information of a city. Okay, so if you are searching for the weather information, obviously it can change. Okay, Suppose you were checking in the morning, it was showing you the sunlight, okay, that you are going to have a bright sunny day, okay, and at evening you are checking it, it is showing you that you have got a rainy season, okay, that may be that so many clouds are there and it is raining right now. So that content is changing, okay, that is dynamically changing. So that type of web page will include the dynamic web pages, okay. So with dynamic content, the document web page you view exists only for you at that moment. If viewed by someone else at the same time or by you at a slightly different time, you could get something different. Okay, now let's compare this scenario. Suppose if a person is sitting in a particular state, suppose Delhi, okay, and if he's searching for the weather on that similar website, so the web page which will means come up onto his particular web device, it will show him the weather of Delhi. Okay, and at the same time, if someone is sitting in Bangalore and he is visiting that website and he is checking that web page, he will be having some different content on that. Okay, so obviously different viewers are having different perspectives. Okay, different things are there. The content is not fixed for both the viewers. Okay, and even if you are logging in at a different time, the weather can change for you. Okay, so that is also a dynamic web. Okay, that are the different basic points which tell you the most suitable differences between the static web page and the dynamic web page. Okay, also there is a term called script here. So in dynamic web page, the content on the server is the same, but instead of just being html, it also contains dynamic code written in the form of scripts, that is code written in the scripting language like php, javascript, etc. Okay, so these dynamic websites are going to have some scripting codes, okay, and these scripts are written in the programming languages like php, javascript, etc. Okay, so these are the scripts. The scripts are the embedded codes in a web page to generate a dynamic content. So you are going to find the scripts on the dynamic web pages, not the static web pages. Okay, so now see, dynamic content is good for pages whose content changes too quickly, pages that display viewer specific content. Okay, obviously if you want some user to view it in different way, you can get it because your user profile will be there, home pages will be there. Okay, pages that display content conditionally, that is member only pages. That also you can do here, that if a particular user is signed in, he is a member of that website, only that user is going to see that dynamic content, otherwise he will be seeing some free content. Okay, so all these things can be managed by this dynamic web pages. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, that is the disadvantages. So consume here are the disadvantages, that is the consumes more resources as compared to the static pages, slower loading than static pages, and then requires more security features than the static pages. So these are the disadvantages. Obviously the data is changing regularly, it needs to load the content, so it is having a slightly slower loading as compared to the static web pages, and also it is having more resources, so it will have means more resources for it. Okay, also if more resources are there, so there will be security features also allotted to each particular resource. So here also requires more security features than the static page. So these are the basic differences between them, all those things which I have already told you. Okay, so these are the basic summary of the static versus dynamic web page. Now let's move on to the next part, that is the difference between a web page and a website. So difference between web page and a website, you are already knowing that what is the difference between web page. Web page is single page, okay, and website is the entire content of that linked web pages. Okay, suppose if you are having 5 web pages which you have created, so all those web pages are linked together to create a particular website. Okay, so a website may have just a home page, or it may have many other internal web pages in addition to the home page. So the home page itself is a web page. Okay, and different web pages are combined together and linked together to create a website. So it is very easy to distinguish between them. The web page is a single page which you are viewing on a particular browser, and when you are having multiple web pages connected with each other to create a website, so you can visit that website and you can view multiple web pages over that single website. Okay, so here you can see website contains many pages like the home page, the content demo page, the about us page. Okay, so different pages, and each individual page is a web page. Okay, and when these pages are combined together, linked together, they will create a particular website. Okay, now let's move forward. Let's move to this part of spam versus junk mail. So what is spam? Spam is defined as the irrelevant or inappropriate messages sent on the internet to a large number of people. Junk mail is the unwanted or unsophisticated advertising or promotional material received through a mail or email. These two terms typically are used interchangeably. Basically, these are used interchangeably because in certain conditions the spam can use as junk, the junk can become as spam also. So in the early days of the internet, it was possible to send emails to everyone on the system. Nowadays, we have a lot of spam filter that save us from lot of spam. Okay, obviously you are having different softwares which can help you in identifying the spam mails. Okay, so these system-wide emails were referred to as spam, meaning send people a lot of mail. Okay, so spammers, that is the people sending the spam. Okay, so the people or the users who are sending these spam messages to the others are known as the spammers. Okay, and they can send their messages to hundreds, thousands, or even millions of email addresses at once with the hope that at least a few people will respond. So that type of messages will be called as spam message. And junk mail is the unwanted or unsolicited advertising or promotional materials. Okay, suppose if a company wants to send you different types of mails, asking you to request to give them some star rating or different things. Okay, if which is not relevant for you, so that will be considered as the junk mail. Okay, so difference is there between the spam and the junk. Okay, so the people who are sending you the spam messages, they will be called as the spammers. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, that is the protocol used in email. So these are the following protocols which can be used in an email, that is the IMAP, the POP3, the SMTP, and the HTTP protocols. Okay, HTTP protocol, you are already knowing that the hypertext transfer protocol, which is used for sending the web pages from the web servers. Okay, now these three terms are new for you: IMAP, POP3, and SMTP. Maybe you have studied in class 10 for these things, but if you have not studied, let's study it now. Now, first protocol is the IMAP. So, IMAP is the Internet Message Access Protocol. It is a standard protocol for accessing email from local server. Okay, if you are having your local server in your, that is your system, and you want to access the email on that local server system, so you are going to use this IMAP protocol. Okay, so IMAP is a client server protocol in which email is received and held for the user by the internet server. Now that internet server is going to keep it with it means safe. Okay, it is going to hold it. Okay, the internet server for the means whatever the messages you have seen, it is held on that internet server. As this requires only a small data transfer, this works well even for a slower connection such as modem. So if in a modem you are having that particular internet connection, obviously the modem is having a bit slower connection. So if you are using this slower connection, this IMAP can work on that slower connection also. Okay, and the small data can be transferred here. Okay, only if the user requests to read a specific email messages, then only it will be downloaded from the server. Now certain set of messages will be there. Okay, and if you want to read a particular message, you want to download a certain set of message, only then it will be downloaded. It is totally dependent upon the user's permission. Okay, so you can also create and manipulate folders or mailboxes on the server, delete messages, etc. Okay, so all these things are possible in IMAP. But when you are talking about the POP3, so the POP3 is basically the third version of the POP protocol, that is the post office protocol. So protocol provides a simple standard way for users to access mailboxes and download messages to their computers. But when you are using the POP protocol, all the emails messages gets downloaded from the mail server to user's local computer. Now the thing is here is that in that case, that is in the IMAP protocol, the particular message which you were trying to download, only that message was recovered from the server. But in this case, in POP, all the messages will be copied from that web server to this particular local computer. Okay. Now the user can choose to leave the copies of her emails on the server as well. Okay. The advantage is that the once messages are downloaded, the user can cut the internet connection and read his her mail at own leisure without incurring further communication cost. Okay. So if all the messages are downloaded once, you can switch off your internet connection and you can read the messages offline. Okay. On the other hand, he/she might have transferred a lot of messages, including spam or viruses. Now, see, that is also a problem because you are saying that all the messages are going to be transferred from the server to your local machine. So, in that case, the spam messages will also be downloaded. So, that will create a hectic schedule for you for to read out those spam messages also. Okay, so you need to identify them, why I have downloaded this spam folders. Okay, that is also a problem for this POP3. Okay, so you have to see whether you are using the offline mode or online mode. So if you are basically going for the offline mode or reading the mails, you have to go for the POP3 version. But if you are talking about the server messages, so on that you will go for the IMAP. Also the main advantage of IMAP is that nowadays it is being used highly because it is accessible to the multiple devices. Okay, if you are having your single mail in different devices, you can access that mails from different devices as well. Okay, because all the messages are stored on the server, so it is not dependent upon the local machine. So the same messages can be viewed on the different uh, means servers also. Okay, but if you are talking about this op3, so if you have downloaded that messages, that will be downloaded in only the one server, and you cannot see it later on the server. Getting it? Because it will remove it from the server. The next protocol is the SMTP, that is a simple mail transfer protocol. Now this simple mail transfer protocol is basically used for sending the mails. Okay, it is not used for receiving the mails. All the messages we have taught this protocol, that is the IMAP and POP3, which we have discussed earlier, were for receiving the emails. Okay, but now we are talking about sending the mails. So the SMTP protocol is used when you send emails to another email user, the recipient. The SMTP protocol is used by the mail transfer agent, the MTA, to deliver the sent mail to the recipient's mail server. Okay, so this MTA will send that particular mail or the message to that particular recipient's mail server. Okay, so the SMTP protocol only be used to send emails, not to receive them, that I have already told you. Depending on the network ISP settings, user may only be able to use the SMTP protocol under certain conditions. Okay, so it depends upon the ISP settings, that which ISP setting you are using in. Okay, so according to that settings, the SMTP protocols can be used in different conditions. Okay, and HTTP, we are already knowing that HTTP protocol is the hypertext transfer protocol. It is also called the web-based email. So this protocol can be used to compose or retrieve emails from an email account. Okay, so if you are trying to see that emails from a particular web pages, so for that, again you have to access that web pages from a web server. So that will include the HTTP protocol. Okay, so the Hotmail, Gmail, Ymail, Reddit mail, etc. are good examples of using HTTP as an email protocol. Okay, so all this comes under this HTTP protocol. Now let's move forward. Let's talk about the chat. Chat, you are already knowing that online textual chat is called the chatting. So whenever you are sending messages or exchanging the information in the form of chats or the online text, so that is only under, that comes under this part of chatting. Okay, so obviously it has become very much popular nowadays in every Android phones, or even on the website also people are busy in chatting and sending messages and uh, information or news feed to the others. Okay, in times of the festivals or any, I mean, like, means if you're having particular organization, sorry, if you're trying to organize a particular theme or something else, so and that cases also you can send that relevant information using these chats. Okay, so chat room is basically a website or a part of some online service that provides an online venue for communities of users with a common interest to communicate in real time, that is instantly. Okay, so that is a chat. You have studied about the chat room also, you must have seen it on the Facebook also. It will allow you to see how many people are right now chatting there. Okay, how many people are online, and different things can be see on this chat room. Okay, so commonly used type of chat are the instant messaging. Okay, instant messaging, which you are already knowing, that like the Skype messages or the WhatsApp messages or the FB Messenger messages, all these things comes under this instant messaging. But if you talk about the ICQ, okay, so ICQ is basically dependent upon this ICQ. When you talk about ICQ, that means it symbolizes you that I seek you. Okay, so this ICQ refers offers chatting via ICQ software. It will include a particular ICQ software. It is used as a conferencing tool by individuals on the net to chat, email, perform file transfers, play computer games, and more. Okay, so this is also type of chat. Okay, instant messaging, we have already discussed that it is like, means Skype or WhatsApp and all those things. Okay, and the ICQ was earlier very much popular, but nowadays it is still there, and not saying that it is not existing, but it's not too much popular nowadays. Okay, so now because of this instant messaging apps, different apps have developed, and it has created, means too much comfort in texting. Okay, and the next thing is this IRC, that internet relay chat. So unlike IM and ICQ, IRC internet relay chat is not owned by any company. So this ICQ and this means IM was owned by some particular companies, but this is not owned by any company. To use IRC, you need an IRC client program, and IRC has many networks that are completely separate from one another. If you want to chat with someone on IRC, you need to make sure that you are connected to an IRC server via your PC's IRC client program. So the particular IRC program which you have downloaded on your system, So that is going to play a crucial role when you are chatting to the other person, and he must also have his own IRC server chatting program. Okay, so if these two people are having their internet relay chat softwares, okay, the client program, so they can easily send on text and exchange information over this IRC, that is the internet relay chat. Okay, so once you connect to an IRC server, there are often thousands of rooms called the channels on nearly any topic, and tens of thousands of different people to chat with. Okay, that is not too many problems, too much popular, because the instant messaging is too much popular nowadays. But these things are also under the part of chat, so you need to just study because it's in your syllabus. So you need to be aware of these things. Okay, next thing is the web-based chat. So web-based chat, also you are knowing that if you are using the website, or you are using the desktop mode, or even in your Android phone, so if you are working on a desktop mode or a website mode, so in that case, web-based chat is also like IRC, but it is different from it in the sense that it is on a specific website, and no program is really needed to install on a computer. Suppose if you want to go for the Facebook chat, so you just need to open the Facebook website, and there you will get the chatting rooms to chat with different friends of you. Okay, so you can see there how many people are online and how to text them. Okay, easily you can share the information over this web-based chat. Okay, so Yahoo chat is a great example of web-based chat. Okay, let's move forward. Next part is the VoIP, that is the Voice over Internet Protocol. Nowadays, this VoIP has become too much popular because of the online classes. Also, you can see that Zoom meetings and all these things are based on this Voice over Internet Protocol only. Okay, this VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, is a technology that makes audio and video calls possible from any internet connected devices having a microphone and speaker. So if you are having a microphone and a speaker in a particular device, you can use this VoIP, that is Voice over Internet Protocol. So you must have made calls using apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger, Skype, etc. Okay. So these software apps use VoIP to make such calls over internet. So on the internet communication is the responsibility of a protocol called IP. IP, you are already knowing that internet protocol. So VoIP allows for the transmission of voice along with other data being communicated over IP. So already you have studied about the internet protocol and TCP protocol. So the TCP/IP works on sending the data packets from a particular server to a particular client. Okay. So when these packets are transmitted, only that textual information will transmitted. But if you are sending the video feeds and the audio qualities of audio feeds also at the same time with the text, so these things comes under this VoIP. Okay. So this VoIP allows for the transmission of voice along with other data being communicated over IP. So hence the name VoIP, that is Voice over Internet Protocol, comes. Okay. So this VoIP takes audio voice input and converts them into digital information so that it can be transferred over internet along with other data on IP. Okay. So what they do, they just convert this means the analog input which you are giving into a digital input, and then that inputs has to travel with this IP packets to that particular receiver, and there it can be again changed into a means manual sound. Okay, by the converters, obviously the modems and all. So when these will be converted, they will be able to we will be able to hear about this VoIP. Okay, so examples of many VoIP based software apps are the Skype, the Google Duo, Meet, Zoom, WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messengers, etc. Okay. So the main reasons for using VoIP is the lower cost. Okay. Obviously, when you are having your internet connection, on that internet connection only you can use these WhatsApp chats and WhatsApp video calls and all. You don't have to pay any extra charge for that. So obviously it will have a lower cost and increased functionality as it can use many internet enabled devices. Okay, at the same time means you can chat to multiple peoples also. You can video call 5 to 6 persons also. Okay, on this means VoIP protocols. Okay, here is an example showing you from the figure that there is an internet connection and is a modem which is having access to this internet connection. Now this is a VoIP adapter, phone adapter. Okay, this information is coming to this adapter, and this information is being sent to this computer and the telephone lines. Okay, so directly also it can be sent, and to this telephone lines also it can be sent. That is how this VoIP protocol works. What it is basically doing, it is just sending the data packets. So the IP just send the normal data packets for text packets. Okay. So what this VoIP is doing, it is also sending the voice packets along with the text packets, and also giving you some images and all these things at the same time. Okay. So all these packets are traveling along these telephone lines in a digital form, and it is receiving on the receiver's end. Okay, and again this IP protocol is going to arrange those data packets and that voice packets also, and the particular user is able to hear it. Okay, so there are certain set of advantages. It does not cost any extra as you have a device with an internet connection, and easily available also because many VoIP based software such as Skype are easily downloadable, and moreover they are free also. Okay, but there are certain set of disadvantages also, that VoIP is possible if both the callers or receivers have the right software and hardware to speak to one another. Okay, they must have the right software and hardware also. Okay, if you are sending the information to them, the audio should be means audible to that particular user. Okay, if you are sending the information, it should be heard on that particular receiver's end also. Okay, so you need to have a right software and hardware on both that. Okay, that is the sender end also and the receiver end also. Also, there is no guarantee of false audio. You must have seen also this, that when you're talking about when you're talking or attending a meeting on Zoom, or if you are talking on the WhatsApp chat, there is a means low grade quality of audio. Okay, as compared to the normal telephone connections. Okay, so obviously it is going to have some lower data packets information. Some packets may be lost in traveling. Okay, so there is no guarantee of false audio and video quality when using the internet. It uses internet protocols packets, so if packets get dropped along the way, then voice quality drops. Okay, obviously if all the audio packets are traveling and some packets are losing in the way, so in that case you may have a poor quality of audio. Okay, even with its high quality, it cannot match up the voice quality of a normal telephone line. So if it is working on its high quality and the normal telephone line is working in at its average quality also, then also there is no comparison between. Okay, it is not able to means leave it behind. Okay, obviously the normal telephone line is having the better audio quality. Okay, it may not work for emergency services like the police or fire services regular numbers. So you are knowing that emergency numbers exist on this telephone line. So when you are having any situation of emergency, you can contact these fire services or the police services. But in the when you are using this VoIP, you are having no such options for this police or fire services. Okay, so that's all students for this chapter, that is internet and web. So in the next part of the next video, we'll be discussing about the next chapter. I think this was clear to you. So till then, take care, students. Thank you.